I'm Sarah Gonzalez. Welcome to the news and why it matters. It's Thursday.
Yay!
Yay! What was your top
the Pulse nightclub shooting and how the media is just doing things that even shock me at this point.
Wow. All right, Stu.
To what extent do we defend life?
Okay. Pat?
The Pulse Club shooting and how the media is doing things that...
You too?
Even shock you?
It shocked me, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How we defend life.
Really?
I would say how we're covering the guns in general. Still the hottest story out there, yeah.
Okay. Glenn?
So I think the Pulse nightclub plays into that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so
Definitely.
Today it was amazing because this story broke yesterday. I haven't seen it covered. Okay, I'm watching, in the radio show for 3 hours. I've got all of the networks in front of me. I see no coverage of this.
I've still seen no television coverage of it.
It is insane. The Pulse nightclub, we all know, well, you just going there to shoot up some gay people, right? No. His first target was Disney. He went to Disney World, to one of the, what is it? Used to be called
Springs.
Yeah, it used to be called Pleasure Island.
Yeah.
He goes there. He takes a baby carriage out. They have him on tape. Now, how come we haven't seen this? They have him on tape putting his weapons into a baby carriage, pushing the baby carriage, and then seeing cop, guy with gun, better not hang out here, puts it back in, Googles. Now we have the Google proof. He just writes, nightclub in downtown Orlando. Not gay nightclub in Orlando. Two names come up. He checks both of them out. He ends up going to Pulse because he thinks it's the softest target. So there's two things. One, the nation has been ripped apart for 2 years about, here's another gay hater. Look what America has done. No. Two, looks like a good guy with a gun actually does make a difference. That's two pieces of evidence that we should stop wasting time talking about the Second Amendment and fortify our schools and put more people with guns. You want them to be police or teachers? I don't care. Put more people with guns in our schools.
And by the way, this is not a debate. This is like watching Person of Interest, the TV show, where step by step you can see everything he did. Those are facts, and they are ignoring them.
Ignoring them. They are not showing the American people what really happened. It's horrifying.
And not only do we have that proof, but we have the Maryland shooting.
Yes.
Was it last week or the week before, where a school resource officer with a gun shot dead the killer after 2 people were shot.
We also have the Batman killer, the killer or the Joker killer in Colorado, where we know that he passed movie theaters because you could carry a gun there, and he went to the one where you couldn't carry a gun.
Yeah.
So do you think that the media is not covering this because
doesn't
help their narrative?
Doesn't help their narrative, and this one's really insidious because for 2 years we should have been talking about Islamic extremism, but we didn't. Instead, we talked about LGBT and how evil America is on hating on gay people. Absolutely untrue. Then we didn't pursue anything about, maybe we should have more guns. That security at Disney actually helped. That's important information.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being at Disney that night? I mean, you very well could have seen yourself on this video walking through Disney, or being at Eve nightclub, the other nightclub that he was targeting. He looked at Eve, then he went to Pulse, then he went back towards Eve, and for whatever reason, we don't know why, turned around and came back to Pulse, and that's where he did the shooting. I mean, your life was almost lost, right? I mean, I wonder if that changes your perspective at all as this information comes out and you really understand that you were almost at the end of the barrel of that gun.
And how important is the information to Disney? Here's a Disney park. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I have gone to Disney and I've thought to myself over and over again, this is a massive target.
Now, this was like downtown Disney where you don't go through metal detectors, because if you go into the park, they actually do some level of security, but still. Right, your own Disney,
I mean,
that's huge.
Can you imagine what that would have done to our economy and everything else? That's important information for Disney to have, and other places like Disney, other soft targets. Harden, we made this guy go away.
Yeah. Stu?
Well, we've had a lot of these impossible debates where people who are like want to take all your guns away versus people who really respect the Second Amendment, and that's been one of those never-ending debates. Another one is, of course, abortion. And when abortion happens, without exception, the left tries to take it to rape and incest. They'll bring up the two examples that are very, very rare, that don't happen a lot. But they say, oh, do you really want a woman having to deal with that reminder of her rape for the rest of her life? And they'll hit you with that. This video I thought was so powerful, we needed to watch it to really understand it, because I think if you're one of the conservatives, a lot of conservatives feel this way, that you think there should be exceptions for rape and incest. It's a really difficult topic. And it's not really the breadth, the normal bulk of the abortion debate, but it's something that I think conservatives try to fight against, and it's a tough issue for people. Watch this video and see if it's still a tough video.
There's no forgetting. No woman is ever going to forget what happened to her. I've been told so many times that if you just had an abortion, you won't always have this reminder hanging over your head, this reminder. Is my son a reminder? He absolutely is. My son is a reminder every day that as women, we can rise above our circumstances. My son is a reminder that love is always stronger than hate, and that who we are as human beings is not determined by how we were conceived. A woman at her most broken needs hope and help and love and people rallying around her. She does not need violence on top of violence, tragedy on top of tragedy. I'm here tonight, one woman, but I speak for most of us when I say, stop calling my son a rapist child. Stop calling him evil seed and child of the devil. He is my son, and he has a right to be here. Do not use me and my rape and my story and the story of all of us mothers from rape who love our children as a banner to hide behind and excuse the genocide of the innocent. We love our children.
I have to tell you, I have an adopted son, and anybody who's a longtime listener or viewer of mine knows how that came to be. And I have always looked at it from the adoptive parent side. And the hero that the mother was to say, I'm carrying this child. That is a completely different, that just changed. To me, that just is, it almost sucks the air out of your lungs.
It does. Because that's the hardest one, right?
It is.
The hardest one to say, okay, well, if you've been raped, still have the baby, carry the baby to term. After you've been subjected to that violence, and after you've had your choice taken from you, then that's a really tough one to say, go ahead and see it all the way through.
You and I think, believe the same thing, that in case of rape and incest, I can't look at a woman and say, I'm going to...
Sorry, you got to do it.
Sorry, you got to do it. I can't do that.
But then you hear her?
Yeah, and you also are saying at the same time, and this is what I've wrestled with so much, it doesn't make that child less of a child.
No, it doesn't.
And
it's still, right?
I know.
If we believe you either believe it's killing a baby or it's not.
I know.
Whether it's life or not is not determined on the circumstances of the conception. It really
is. Are you, even without rape and incest?
I think, I am a person who does not believe that's the exception, because I believe that, this is life. And as difficult as that would be, look at it this way.
It's the only thing I'm inconsistent on that I can find in myself.
Yeah. If you have a situation where someone has raped another person, and then there is a baby that could potentially be aborted, you're talking about three people where one is a terrible, terrible human being, and the other two are victims. It's not to say that, just have it and adopt it. That's not an easy thing to say to a woman in that situation. It's an impossible thing to ask. It's an impossible thing to ask in that situation. But we have to look at this point, we know something terrible is going to happen. And you have to look at who has, we know that the woman has done nothing wrong, but we also know the child has done nothing wrong. And if we abort the baby, we've created two victims instead of one. And I just think at the end of this, it's a really impossible situation, which of course is why the left and the media tries to drive us into this all the time. Yeah. But I think as conservatives, it is something for us to really examine about ourselves.
And those are very low numbers, though.
Yes, very low.
And that's the thing you have to remember about it. But yeah, that does change it. The gun coverage today with Laura Ingraham now being targeted by that hog kid.
Oh, good gosh.
Is
She's already lost the first client.
Oh, really?
She did. It was that's the dog food from
from Rachel Ray.
Rachel Ray, that's hers. And people are just running with it. They're just like, yep, let's go ahead and back him on this thing.
She didn't even do anything.
She apologized.
And she apologized.
Her tweet, she said you were being whiny about not getting into schools.
Big deal.
He was being kind of whiny, but it was not offensive. I mean,
I don't say that, I'm not saying an eye for an eye, but I'm sorry. The guy has lost all moral ground. The way he talks about NRA members, the way he's talked about Dana, he's lost all moral high ground.
Because he and his sister were referring to Laura Ingraham as cyberbullying. This is some of the terms that they've used. Bullying and cyberbullying.
She said overused.
Right. She said you were being whiny about this, which I'm sure it's traumatic for him. He didn't get in the schools he wanted. But he has actually said if people like Marco Rubio and Rick Scott had the blood of children splattered on them, they would still care more about the money from the NRA. And targeting them for what purpose? To get them to be fired in the fall.
And let me tell you something. This is cyberbullying. You know what? Every member of my family throughout generations would have said to him, grow up. Yeah. Grow up. If you can't handle that, grow up. And
he would say that to you if you said, how dare you say that about Rick Scott or whoever.
Yes.
But when it comes to them.
Well, no, he actually, David Hogg said, I'm not going to stoop to her, Laura Ingram's level, and go after her on a personal level. I'm going after her advertisers. I'm like, so you didn't call Dana Lash hypocritical and disgusting?
The media has created a monster.
Yes.
Created a monster.
Several of them.
Doc, do you really think that he's going to run for office?
Eventually, yeah. Yes. He's not going away. He's not going away. The other ones are going to go away, and I made the prediction, and I am not hoping this at all. But one of those other kids is going to end up in trouble somehow. That fleeting fame in 6 months from now, they are going to be in a very dark place. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying I want it. I don't want it to happen. I'm just saying
without saying any names, I talked to somebody that you guys know was in this building this week. And he lost fame overnight. And a very big name, and one that I was surprised this person thought that they weren't famous and didn't have a role anymore. He said to me, I became, within a year, I almost put a gun in my mouth.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I mean, the loss of fame on an adult, would you all say that this guy's a pretty stable guy? Mm-hmm. For him to say that to me, what's going to happen to a 17-year-old who everyone has crowned the Prince of Peace?
And then it all goes away.
All goes away.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
It was Dora the Explorer, by the way. I'm happy.
I
had to say it.
All right.
People need to know.
We're getting sued now.
Yeah.
She was just in Uruguay. Nobody knew she was here.
All right, we got to take a break. Stay with us.
Oh, that's the other Dora, isn't it?
All right, so Glenn had to leave to go work on a documentary. Stu, you're a part of it too.
Well, first he's got Pilates, but after that he's going to be doing a documentary on the Nazis and whether they were Christian. It goes into a lot of that. If you remember, if you happen to listen to the radio show, we did an interview with Eric Kurlander. He's the author of Hitler's Monsters, and it goes into all the crazy, like, occult beliefs and all the wild stuff the Nazis believe. It's going to be a series that's going to be coming on the Blaze pretty soon, and he's in the middle of that now, so it's going to be really cool.
Yeah. Jason.
Pinch hitting again.
Yes, stunt double, Glenn Jr. James Comey is now cashing in after being fired by Trump. He has signed a $2 million book deal.
This cracks me up. So no matter what, like everyone, you remember back when he was going to do his last big press conference, there was crying, hipsters in New York just waiting with bated breath to see what he was going to say. Every time we do this, it's supply and demand. He can get as much money as he wants because everyone thinks every single time that he's going to actually say something of substance just this one time. You might get something besides lawyer speak out of this guy. But no, every single time it's the same thing. We never get anything of substance. It's lawyer speak. We're always let down. It's the same thing with this. He got a $2 million book deal. Now because everyone just can't wait to see what bombs he's going to drop in the Trump administration, he's getting almost $1,000 for town hall events after the book deal. After the book releases.
It's $850 a ticket.
Yeah.
Wow. To attend his book tour. $850 a ticket. $850 a ticket.
That's way more than I paid for my Ed Sheeran concert, by the way.
Wow, really?
What does a Broadway ticket cost?
You can get into a Broadway show for much less.
Oh, yeah. Four?
No doubt about that.
Three?
But what do they expect to get out of this? That's why we've done this so many times. We never hear anything.
Everyone expects he's going to say something that's going to take down the Trump administration, but we can all remember that the most significant thing this man will ever do in his entire life was make the Trump administration a thing. Yeah. The guy released a letter that basically gave Hillary Clinton the loss. And it's so funny that now he's seen as this anti-Trump figure. It's so crazy. Yep. This guy, if he was this big anti-Trump figure, he could have suppressed this letter for a week. He could have done anything other than what he did. You can never get a real answer as to why he would have done that. Every time I ask this to Trump supporters, it's like, well, he just knew that he couldn't wait any longer. He had to do it. What are you talking about? The theory that gets you there is that he was manipulating and hiding things from the government just with puppet strings over the entire election. They like a week out, he's like, I give up. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, what's fascinating to me is that how quickly he became, the hero to the left, and then all of a sudden he's a shill, and then vice versa. With the other parties, it's so quick.
$850 a ticket. Who's the opening act? Is Stormy Daniels there? Because she's on tour too. You get the two of them together. Wow, it's like $1,600 a ticket.
That's a solid tour.
That's a good lineup, right? Who else is on the card?
Okay, so
Aaron McDougal.
It's opening day for baseball today. Stu, tell us about baseball stadium food.
Yes,
I'm so excited.
I freaking love baseball. I'm so glad it's back. I'm glad it's here. And one of the great things that they're doing now is the innovative food products that roll into the stadiums. Yes, for example, let's start with the Arizona Diamondbacks. We have ale and tots.
Ew.
Oh, look at that.
Is that it? That does not look like it.
Whatever it is, it looks
whatever
good.
It is.
Is that tater tots?
Yeah. Inedible. That's a go.
Pulled pork and a hamburger.
Yeah, I'm not sure which one that is.
Or are those onion rings?
That's a pretty
yes or no? Are you trying that or no?
No.
I'm trying that.
Let's just talk about
Arizona.
I think we could fill Sarah in for a no on all of these. How about the Chicago Cubs sandwich? Do we have that? I don't know, but that one looks a little sketchy to me.
Yeah.
Anyone in on that?
Interested.
What's the protein?
Tomatoes.
Yeah, that's the problem.
What is it? Do we know?
Is it a chicken or a cheese thing on there? I don't know.
Avocado? Tomato, avocado? I'm listening.
The Detroit Tigers hot dog. There we go. Looks like you got a little cheesy sauce on there, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in.
Is the
jalapeno?
More classic.
Okay, we'd say Sarah's a no on all of them. Doc say yes on all of them. I think right now. Kansas City Royals mac and cheese. Pork belly mac and cheese. This is a big Pat favorite.
Oh, yeah. I'm all over that.
That looks legit. That's
pork
the best
belly
one so
mac
far.
and cheese. You can't get any better than that.
See, what you had there is you have pork belly plus
mac
and cheese. Where do you go wrong? It's mac and cheese.
Right.
Both of them.
Right.
Both the mac and the cheese.
If it was just pork belly and mac, it just...
LA Dodgers corn?
corn. Okay.
This is actual.
Is that fried corn?
This is the corn I think that has the Cheetos outside to it.
Is that flaming hot?
Yeah, flaming hot Cheetos.
Oh my gosh, they win. They just won. They just won the
Flying
competition.
to LA.
All right, Texas Rangers Dilly Dog. This one's amazing because it looks like a corn dog. The difference being that if you could see on the side, there is a hot dog inserted into a hollowed out pickle.
And then fried.
And then fried like a corn
battered
dog.
and deep fried.
That's so it's
Only
basically a
in
corn
Texas,
dog
man.
with a pickle inside of it. That's freaking
It's
weird.
like fair food. That's awesome.
So you're praising that, but there's children in Guatemala that have to hollow those pickles out.
Now they sent it all the way to China.
Is that what it is in back? Okay.
Two more Washington Nationals nachos. We got those. Those are nachos.
Oh, tell me,
I don't know
you
what that
really
is.
would eat that?
I don't know what that even is.
See, this is why you look the way you do, and we look the way
we do.
There's
And
the difference.
This one's kind of interesting, though, as far as innovation goes. This is New York Yankees beer, and they wanted to put players' faces,
which is pretty cool
in
that
the
they
beer,
can do that.
in the foam,
wow.
which is pretty cool. And they
Yeah.
came up with the technology to do it. And I guess apparently already it's a problem because there's some licensing deal. You're not allowed to put the players with the beer in the stadium or some issue with that. So they're going to have to just do.
Players, I don't think, can promote beer or tobacco.
Which is strange because beer is such a big part of the game. You're usually drunk at every one of them. So, but I don't know. There's some good possibilities out there if you're willing to travel.
Or terrible possibilities. Anyway, Pat, the Vatican has distanced itself from the claim that the Pope doesn't believe in hell.
They have, and I wasn't there, so I don't know. But it was reported that the Pope claimed there is no hell. When you die, if you're evil, your soul just disappears. It's just gone. And so, to me, the question, is the Pope Catholic, is not just a joke anymore.
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
rhetorical.
I mean, he seems to be preaching a lot of non-Catholic Catholicism. So it's very
Is there such a thing as
confusing to me.
non-Catholic Catholicism?
Apparently there is now.
Yeah,
There is now.
And the Vatican responded to that.
Yeah, they said he quoted him wrong, or here's what we believe. They didn't actually, in the story I read, they never said that the reporter was wrong. They just said, here's what we believe.
It was a very weak denial.
And what you believe is kind of different from the Pope, which is strange.
I think a good thing on that is, if we really quick, I know we're running out of time, is that no matter who you believe, no matter what faith you are, the leader is a man.
Yeah.
Unless their name is Jesus of Nazareth,
Yeah.
they're a man. And they're flawed.
I do want to get to your topic really quickly. The DeKalb teacher accused of murdering 2 children.
Yeah,
member of the Crips gang.
2 years ago, he
Teacher.
allegedly was involved in the murder of 2 children, and he's now a teacher. Second story.
Are you saying we've got so picky that we can't have murderers?
Right, I know. Where are we?
Is that where we are?
Another story, an illegal alien who was working at a school last fall phoned in a bomb threat because she wanted to see what it was like. Now she's up on federal gun charges as well. And there are several stories out there. My point being, we're so concerned about protecting children in school. Maybe we start with doing some background checks on the teachers, policing the teachers that have sex with the students.
Right.
Where's that in this argument?
Kids can't sketch a gun without going to jail.
But yet a teacher can
Gang
kill
member.
2 people.
You guys, all right, you're using too much logic and reason for their heads to handle. All right, we got to take a break. Stay with us. every day, we like to take your questions. So remember to be tweeting the guys your questions using the hashtag #TheBlazeY. Steve wants to know, how can Stormy and her lawyer demand that they can depose both Trump and his lawyer over if they had a deal for hush money? Isn't all that communication attorney-client privilege?
Well, they can't, and it's just been ruled that they can't. Yeah. They can't depose the president. So,
was it really just ruled that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, this is just a publicity tactic. They're trying to put pressure on the president. They know that's not going to work.
Yeah. Survival Guy wants to know why we haven't heard anything about David Hogg's parents, who they are, what they do.
His dad came out in an early interview real quick, and he seemed like he was not quite as sharp as his son, and that was the last we saw of him. But his mom is allegedly a pretty staunch progressive.
Shocking.
I know, amazing, shocking, but we haven't heard from her.
I can't believe that. Anyone have any good Easter plans?
Eating a lot. Probably mac and cheese.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect that from you still.
I don't understand. How many fat jokes can I get in a day? I get it. I'm overweight. I got it.
I'll be spending most of the day interpretive dance, just practicing interpretive dance.
I do want to mention it is National Vietnam Veterans Day. So thanks to all of you guys.
Thank you, Vietnam vets. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you guys Monday.